Chair.
Kelvin
Mr.
Davis.
Chair. Mr. Chair.
Inspired choice, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much. Mr. Chair, it's a great day to be in opposition, I have to say, a great day for the opposition. This has been a day where the opposition has been able to talk at length, non-stop, about our suite of housing policies, and at the same time highlights the complete dearth of policy coming from the government benches, which is the reason why the homelessness and we need more houses built. And I just have to give credit to my colleague Phil Twyford for all the amazing work that he's been doing developing our policy. Mr. Chair, I believe that Housing New Zealand lost its soul when it decided that it was going to be there just purely to derive a profit from people who are using its services. It has become an organisation that doesn't see people as an opportunity to actually do some good for the country. They just see people as problems and they treat them in that way. Housing New Zealand National has taken $523 million out of profits from Housing New Zealand, including $118 million dividend for the year 2015-2016 alone. Now imagine how many houses, how many families, how many people could be supported in living in warm, comfortable, affordable houses if that money, instead of going into the government's coffers, actually was reinvested back into building houses for our people, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, when people come into our electorate offices, there are 4 organisations that comprise the majority of complaints. First of all, there's SIFS, there's WINS, there's ACC, and the 4th is Housing New Zealand. And I can tell the story. This happened over a year ago, where a family of mum, dad and 3 kids arrived in Whangarei and they were living in their car. They went to Housing New Zealand, and because the only house available had 5 bedrooms and they really only needed 4, they were actually declined that house. That's just ridiculous. The rules around Housing New Zealand and their policies just sometimes don't make sense. Instead of just thinking, what is the right thing to do for people? What is the best way that we can support their kids to grow up in a warm, safe, dry, comfortable house so that they can get to school and be prepared to learn? Instead of thinking about the ways that they can support parents or provide a home for parents so that they can look after their families, instead they put every single barrier in the way of these families that they can think of. And as I said earlier, instead of looking at ways to help, they see people as problems, and that to me, Mr. Speaker, is totally unacceptable. And what's the social cost in years to come is the question that I ask. What is the social cost in years to come where children are growing up not in warm, safe, comfortable, affordable homes, where parents are struggling with rent, struggling to get by in poorly maintained homes? There is a social cost to the country in years to come, which is far greater than actually the cost of just providing a house in the first place. We talk about affordable homes. Now, one of the submitters at the homelessness inquiry last week in Kaitaia spoke about his ability to build an affordable home, and look, and Housing New Zealand could take this idea on, an affordable home, a 100 square metre home for $100,000. He can construct it in a workshop in 4 days and erect it on site in 3 days. He was saying that he can build homes all around Taitokerau for a 100 square metre home for $100,000, a 200 square metre home for $175,000. Now, how many houses could that $118 million dividend pay for and erect all around the country if the government had just looked at and attended the homelessness inquiry? They weren't there at all, and these could have been ideas that could be taken to Housing New Zealand, the Minister of Housing could have said, hey, look, here's a really good idea that's come out of the homelessness inquiry that Labour, the Greens and the Māori Party have established, and we could use some of these ideas to build.
Adrian Ruruapi.